a man in 40. He failed in every profession he worked in throughout his life, abandoned by his wife, boycotted by his friends, and isolated from people, but he unexpectedly turned his catastrophic failure into a success in which he won hundreds of millions of dollars. #Brendan_Green. Irishman born in 1980, finished high school in 1998 and enrolled in the College of Arts hoping to work with acting. But after his graduation he failed to get a career in art because of his lack of mediation, as he says searched for another profession and worked in graphic design and programming sites in order to earn a living and live. But he did not succeed in his country, traveled to Brazil to work as an unfortunate photographer and web page designer and failed in this profession as well, so he decided to become a professional music distributor and composed several tracks in which he also failed miserably. His wife abandoned him because of his failure and shake off from him around him and isolated his apartment, does not speak to anyone. As a young man of the 1980s. His anger was tempered by video games. Green's story started with video games since his childhood in the Atari 2600, and in the 90s he was able to buy a computer during the Windows revolution. He was then playing the famous game Doom on the computer, and with the internet revolution in the mid-90s he moved to group games, the most important of which was Delta Force. He was cut off from games during his preoccupation with college and marriage, looking for a job. And when his emotional crisis intensified with work and marriage, he was isolated in video games. At that time, the game was Armado dominant, so Green exploited that the game programmers allowed players to modify the story of the game, so he focused on it, adjusted it and added dramatic plots and elements that he saw as incomplete. Setting behold, until every decision made by the player becomes a fateful decision. After which he decided to add a new situation that allows players to battle between them and some. Green was not a game developer, but with a little experience, he added the dimensions of the game, then shared it with the rest of the players to meet its wide popular developments in the world. All of Brendan's reputation as a game developer, despite being just an amateur, liked the issue of game development. One day he watched the Japanese movie Battle_Royale, which is a group of students killing each other in one place. Brendan was affected by the film, and he came up with the idea of converting it to a video game, communicating with a famous Korean game company, and offered them the idea and added to it a dramatic dimension that the player is like reality, just one chance. Whatever dies or lives, the company agreed to the proposal and programmed the game and put it on the market in 2017. The game achieved global success since the first days of its landing, and then landed on mobile phones and was downloaded 2 million times in just 60 days. Brendan collected a fortune of $200 million in just 4 months after it became his game the most famous in the world.